That check the answer for me. No way. This book is wrong. My calculation says otherwise.
자, 다시 들어가자. 좀 차고 오니까 낫네. 아까 너무 컨디션이 개판이었어. 자, 들어가자. 침묵의 회의. 뭐야?
Before you enter the Great Hall, please place your right palm on the stone and swear to it solemnly.
전도자의 강당에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
I wish to be baptized in the water of Gnosis and be rid of the long darkness of
소리가
ignorance.
작아진 것 같다. 야, 주여.
I ask my tongue to be taken, for it has spoken mindless words, and I shall stay silent for the truth.
진리를 위한 침묵.
I choose to leave the fragments of matters behind me and enter the great hall of forms as clean as a newborn. I swear to let matter stay in the world of matter and a form in the world of forms.
선서 있게
I swear to reveal no secrets,
독수리에게
or my heart shall be
심장이
taken by
파묻히고
the vulture, my body consumed in flames, my soul trapped
너무
in the
잔인한 거 아니야?
endless wheel of birth. Now, knock 3 times on the stone.
넉.
Put on these ceremonial dresses. That be all. Remember to enter the hall from the right and leave from the left. You are the humblest audience here, hence not allowed to speak. Please,
청중
stay
등급.
quiet and keep the secrets you heard at heart.
아, 등급차별. 확인. 다단계 확인.
I will arrange your meeting with 6 after this.
다단계.
No problem. Miss Sophia, could you give us some privacy?
Please enjoy. I have nothing more to say.
아, 시작하기 전에 이거 위치 바꾸고 갈까? 소네트 아이비.
Vertin, are we really going to do this?
맹세가 좀
That oath we have to make to
극단적이긴 해.
enter the hall sounds vicious.
To stay quiet and keep the secrets. It's similar to the training we once received. You go inside on behalf of timekeeper.
교단이랑 별 차이가 없네요. 예.
No, I'll come with you, Sonetto. But I can't sense any sign of arcane skill on this stone. The oath is more of a formality than a curse. The warning is lifted then?
미스 레이디오.
But when Sophia repaired the floor in front of us with her arcane skill, there's no fluctuation of arcane power either. I can't even sense the
마도구슬이 아니야?
slightest. It's either a kind of arcane skills we're not able to detect, or the moment we stepped onto this island, we've been trapped in a tremendous ritual. That's to say, any arcanum used on this island is only a part of this giant flow.
잠깐만. 강연금 설정. 아.
We know nothing about it.
아, 강연금.
It's too perilous, timekeeper. I know, Sonetto. But as long as we obey their rules, we won't get into other trouble. The doctrine of the Aperon is to live in solitude and seek nothing but the truth. In fact, they've never been aggressive towards us.
섬의 교리라.
I think of this differently.
대리야. 황리야.
The pure blood arcanist community, the unknown
재건.
arcane power, and the obsession with
재건.
certain knowledge or identity. Sound familiar?
Yet, we haven't spotted any traces of the Manus here.
재건이잖아.
Manus Vindictae is like the rat living in the gutter. I don't
노다지긴 해.
think they will let go such a favorable chance.
Which means we need to find out the truth.
I believe in Timekeeper.
I believe timekeeper.
I have zero interest in this meeting. I'll stay outside to keep a lookout. Take care.
경비는 릴리아. 오. 회식이네.
I wish to be baptized in the water of gnosis
세례다,
and be
세례.
rid of the long darkness of ignorance.
I ask my tongue to be taken, for it has spoken mindless words, and I shall stay silent for the truth.
I choose to leave the fragments of matters behind me and enter the great hall of forms as clean as a newborn.
I swear to let matter stay in the world of matter, and a form in the world of forms.
I swear to reveal no secrets. Or my heart shall be taken by the vulture, my body consumed in flames, my soul trapped in the endless wheel of death.
그래. 꽉 찼네.
Fellow brothers,
씨발 디거스잖아.
our quest for Gnosis had suffered 3 unprecedented crises.
너 디거스지. 너 디거스지. 버그인가?
First was the discovery of irrational numbers, and then the creation of imaginary numbers. Last was the loss of the grand unification of different lineages. The truth was buried, and history was rewritten. But the emanation is not a crisis. Instead, it's our last
너
salvation.
디거스지. 누가 봐도
The
디거스.
supreme existence has once again shown itself to us. The door to the everlasting transcendent world of forms has opened once again. As Numa pours down, things are rewound to the world of light. Everything in the world of matter breaks into pieces, for they are as delicate as a petal before it. We, who have the honor to witness the emanation of Numa, have the privilege to survive the turning of the Wheel of Birth. Because we know the truth. Our survival is destined. It is the beginning of a mission to bring the unseen truth into this world. Thank you. The next orator is 37, our smallest irregular prime, and the brightest star of Hermes.
헤르메스. 와, 이쁘긴 해. 헤르메스의 별.
The emanation in 1929 only lasted for 2 days.
이틀 전.
All methods to calculate the Numa emanation failed.
타임슬립
We found no pattern in the occurrence of time reversal.
지근 없다.
All our efforts in the past 4
증명
years have
멸망.
gone completely wasted. That's the end of my speech.
박수콘. 그 장면 있게. 아니 소네트야.
Renya! sereno intenso ed infinito.
아 미친 전투강.
Who did that? Who broke the silence?
미친 전투강. 즉시 마도술.
Sorry, Timekeeper. I just...
Get ready to run, Sonetto.
런.
The Abraxas are coming.
Abraxas is coming. 아니 소네트야. 뭐 아르카나 보면 그럴 수 있어. 아닌가? 김새돌. 오케이 확인. 모르겠네. 그냥 보스 패면 되는 거 아니야?
It could be found.
Time.
Isn't that...
소네트 특 일단 쏘고
Don't blink.
일단 공격하고 보고 미친 전투가.
She.
깡.
She.
보스만 때리면
Could be
되는가?
found. It could be found.
Wanna watch the aerial stunts?
Oh, there's a bubble. Are you irrational numbers?
까다당.
Don't blink.
그냥 이 영상 해줄까? 안중이다 해주자.
Haven't you eaten?
그러니까 이제 아직 10형상도 아니고
Time.
37
Time to check my calculation.
10공명 해줘야 되는데
Oh, there's a bubble.
일단 버려.
A little trick.
The final season now.
Wanna watch the aerial stunts?
Welcome to the world of numbers.
Welcome to the world of number. 아우 무형. 따다당.
Oh, there's a bubble.
A little trick. Huh. Red 38 is about to return.
뭐 있네. 이거 몇 시지? 9-1인가? 9-1 오솔길. 꼭 필요한 복수. 오른쪽에서 왼쪽으로. 우좌. 아니 이거 너무 이상하게 돼 있는데 답이. 여기에 시 해적의 입증. 역시 정실은 레굴루스. 아, 역시 레굴루스다. 정실은 레굴루스. 근데 이제 사실 37 스토리 가도 되긴 하는데 뭐 일단 보자.
Can somebody tell me why I constantly get locked up ever since I
또 감금되었느냐.
first locked up in a suitcase, then a foundation cell, now this. Oh, what else could it be?
드디어
Flirting, weren't they?
흑막을 깨달았구나.
Lads, I know what's going on. You got the wrong person.
흑막은 보틴이 맞다.
She is the most irrational number here. I'm knocked. What does it say here? Freedom will be granted once the proof is completed. That's to say, I have to prove myself not an irrational number to get out of here. Which is exactly what I've been
뭘
trying to do.
증명했는데. 무리수 행동 있기. 즉시 무리수 행동. 바로
Captain,
무리수 행동.
maybe you're in the wrong direction.
일침은 애황.
This apple presumes that the followers on this island have a
피타고라스
close
아빠.
connection with Pythagoreanism.
지식은 애황.
Pythagoras, that ancient Greek mathematician, the guy who said something about the opposite side of a right triangle. Isn't he the guy who lives in sometime BC?
Maths is only a part of the Pythagoreans' achievement, but from a more universal perspective, they are a mysterious group of scholars. Believing things are made up of numbers, venerating integer numbers, abstaining from beans, and the religious collective lifestyle. These are all pointing to Pythagoreanism. The earliest Pythagorean school perished because of the discovery of irrational numbers,
아, 그런 설정.
which explains their odium of it.
그런 설정. 오케이, 완벽하게 이해했어.
At that time, a deviant student named Hippasus discovered root 2, and the theories based on the ratio of integers they hold dear were upended. Hippasus himself was drowned in the sea.
너무 슬픈 일이네.
This apple assumes they see the integers as the standard of virtue, and people can increase the number they rank through study and self-improvement.
아, 그런 설정.
Besides, they are convinced that a numerical code is hidden in everything and everyone. Whoever can solve the code can obtain the truth of the world.
All right.
오케이.
Now I know what's going on.
I know. 나.
This pirate has had enough of this moral
자,
standard, which is obviously
기업자,
British, backward, and
아나키스트
lacks
있게
humanitarian spirit.
보수와
I'm going
인도주의.
to tackle the root cause of this misfortune.
이게 무리수지.
I'm breaking out.
바로 타로.
Why am I not surprised? The captain quickly gives
일침은
sufficient and prerequisite
애왕.
condition to prove herself
무리수
irrational.
증명의 필요 충분 조건. 즉시
This
충족.
apple may be able to offer some help.
What's happening? An
어,
earthquake?
지진인가? 소네트야, 구하러 왔구나. 아니, 나도 잡혔어.
All Abraxases are flying in the same direction. Is this their habit, or
Ah, the roof is about to collapse. So far, this place has
역시
made the London Juvenile Detention
킹
Centre
런던
a heaven on earth.
유치장. 안은 생각보다 튼튼한데?
Oh, is there a piece of paper?
좀
Did one of the Abraxases drop this? Strange.
수학 문제잖아.
The unsolvable puzzle. Is this a math problem?
수학 문제잖아.
0.4, 0.7, 1, 1.6, 2.8, 5.2, 10, and
풀리지 않는
19.6. 8 numbers in total are listed in this order.
There are 8 symbols below, respectively
8개
representing the
선책이요.
Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus.
벌써 어려운데? 천문학.
Maybe it is a hint that we should fill the symbols in the blank box after the numbers. That sign says to complete the proof. Does it mean to solve this puzzle?
분석은 애황.
Ha! How unsolvable can it be? Clearly, each of these 8 numbers should represent one planet. We can easily find
무리수는
a planet by
레왕.
trying them one by one. And our Mr. Apple here is the king of the times crossword.
애플한테 떠넘기기. 자기 객관하는 레옹.
I think there is a difference between this and a crossword. In this Apple's humble opinion, the ratio of certain numbers should match this number sequence, such as the radius, volume, or rotation period.
Wouldn't the sun be absurdly large if these numbers stand for their sizes?
갑자기 이거 시간이다. 카본클?
Hey! The underground critters are back! Go away! Don't touch my nose!
또
It's not your
카본클이야? 전투 스토리용 카본클. 자, 들어가자. 그래. 잡을 수 있겠지.
Wanna watch the aerial stun? Don't
다른
blink.
스토리 다 깨고 빼야겠다.
Time to check my calculation.
Time.
It could be even that.
Don't blink.
Are you irrational numbers?
확실히 이 영상이랑 차이 심할 것 같네. 지금도 이 영상에 죽었잖아.
It could be found. Are you irrational numbers?
What?
The final demonstration.
Wanna watch the time?
Welcome to the world of numbers.
따다당.
Right win. A little trick. Haven't you eaten? Whatever. Сколько побед. Swallow my exhaust.
Yes. Great.
이것도 모아야 되는데.
Hold on, please, Captain.
사실
Seems like
친절한
the critters are
크리처구나.
trying to tell us something.
하지만
They are pointing at the
전투강
sun.
마도학자는 바로 공격부터.
Is that so? Even the critters on this island know math. The sun. What if the sun is just here to serve as a reference point?
기여 대상.
I read an IAU's report in the Times 2 years ago.
잡지식은
The International Astronomical
레왕.
Union.
타임즈는
Earth's average
신이다.
distance to the sun is approximately 93 million miles. As for Mercury, the average distance is 36 million, and Venus 67 billion miles.
기억력은
say if we take the distance between
내왕
Earth and the Sun as one
1
astronomical
레이유이
unit, then the distance between the Sun and Mercury would be
천문학에서 많이 공부한
approximately 0.4 units, and Venus 0.7 units. There you go. These numbers are the ratio of their average distance
평균
from the
거리의
Sun to
비교.
the Earth-Sun distance.
수학은 레왕.
The average distance from Mars to the Sun is about
저걸 다 외우고
142
다니네.
million miles. Jupiter about
사과 위키.
484 million miles. Saturn
역시
886
지식은
million miles and
애왕. 사과
Uranus
위키 미쳤다.
1.786 billion miles. By rough calculation, and if we round the results to one decimal place, Mars would be 1.6 unit, Jupiter 5.2 unit, Saturn 10 unit, and Uranus
완벽하기 위해서.
19.6 unit. That's weird. All these numbers one can hardly remember have become so clear in my mind.
But if these numbers stand for the ratio of distance, what's the planet for 2.8? There's no planet between Mars and Jupiter.
뭐 남은 거겠지. 이거 저거.
If the Sun is the reference, we will have one planet missing.
명왕성? 명왕성?
Is it really a puzzle unsolvable?
Aha!
쫓겨난
Nothing is
명왕성.
unsolvable. You are looking at the solution. There must be one planet out there unknown to us as of
야
yet,
명왕성 언제
located between Mars
발견했지?
and
너
Jupiter.
때 없었니? 네굴루스야? 너 60년대잖니.
What now?
뭐야 무너진다. 뭐야 1999년에 행성으로 되었구나. 아니다. 갑자기 다리. 갑자기 다리. 뭔데 이거? 뭔데 이거?
What is this?
와 아방가르드한
A
연출.
celestial body, which
여왕성인가?
I have never seen before.
Captain, this apple has an impression on this. There is indeed a star between Mars and Jupiter. It is called the Ceres, discovered by Piazzi Giuseppe,
세레스트?
an Italian priest
위성이야?
in 1801.
Ceres.
어떻게 이름이 세레스?
Did we just validate its existence?
아니네.
Is
세레스?
the universe truly arranged
Ceres.
according to this sequence? Could this be the ultimate key of everything?
역시 발견은 내왕. 근데 진짜 뭐?
Regulus,
뭐야?
Regulus.
릴리아이.
What are you doing? Good food poisoning?
마약
After
환각은
accidentally eating one
내왕.
of those sisters?
Odd. My head hurts. What was that?
I'll make it short.
우리
Sanette is in detention. They're planning
헉.
to sentence her to death by giving her the poisoned wine.
헉 소크라테스
Hey, what?
비상. 소네트야 또 너야? 오케이 완벽해졌다. 아 좋아 드디어 좀 편해져. 아니 마우스가 불편한데. 아 좋아 됐다. 10-1 오설게. 우연의 일치.
As you can see,
아,
this
또 긴
school
거,
only
그
has
긴 거
lives in a
나왔네.
box made by the truth.
또 그 긴
Even
거네.
if they have a donut in their hands when they are hungry, they still see a topological space. Like the cute ring attached to an initiation toy. It's not food anyways. But if you give them a puzzle, they will enjoy it like the best Kaiserschmarrn. Oh, my apologies. I was not talking about the one you are holding.
맛없긴 해.
No.
18세기.
With all due respect, that thing in your hand is pretty old. The mold on it seems to come from the 18th century, judging from the smell. I'm sure you know it will make you sick if eaten. But we have to admit, it is not just ordinary mold. It reminds us of the story in which, once, a merchant's son looked up at the night sky and found the answer to the stars for us. The young man firmly believed that the movement of the stars and the sun follows certain laws, just like how the delicate gears in a watch work together.
완전히
And his
이해했어.
point was even proven correct by Zeus's grandfather. When another gentleman observed the sky through the reflecting telescope he took great pains to make, a celestial body was exactly there. What was it called? 19.6. The 8th number in the sequence, the 7th planet in the solar system, and the legendary god of the sky. If the world was not created by God, are there any theories we can use to explain such a beautiful law? Yes. The one that
맨날
says
느끼는
it
건데,
never
오슬기 진짜
actually exists.
의미
Anyone can see the
분명하다.
breach in this number sequence. That is the planet, which is supposed to be the 5th number in the sequence. I mean, how come we have never seen it before, if it does exist? Either God is wrong, or we've been blind all this time.
신은 죽었다.
What do you... Oh, darling. I forgot that you are one of the boring people from the modern times. You need to understand that we are talking about a forgotten masterpiece from the 18th century. Back then, everyone still believed that the imaginary creatures living on the stars got to witness the birth of God's creations, and the everlasting temperature changes up there were set to punish the exiles. Oh, how romantic. It was a beautiful dream, but it was still ended, eventually, by another discovery, the 8th planet.
아, 왜 이렇게 무너지냐. 오케이.
Not the Ceres, nor the Uranus, but a new planet. People found it through more precise astronomical data and calculation, proving that the number sequence found by the merchant's
아, 근데
son
이거 진짜
was
길다.
only a myth.
오늘따라 더 긴 것 같아. 오지에서 와는.
Now we are clear of what we've been talking about. It's an unsolvable puzzle. It makes no sense from the very beginning. We found the Ceres because it happened to be there. It is real, and no one can deny its existence. In other words, we can perfectly prove the rationality of mathematics because we invented it. It's been a good dream, I suppose. Now, imagine that you are walking alone in the darkest valley ever, trying to drag your fragile body upward as much as possible before it is worn out. Hoarse cries squeeze their way out of your mouth to ask for a response from the gods. Suddenly, an afflatus dawns on you. The next moment, a miracle happens. You are already at the top of the mountain, witnessing the rise of a huge celestial body from the skyline. Even if it's only in your imagination, you have just witnessed the dawn of the creation, and the shock is real.
완벽하게 이해했어. 뭔 소리야 이게. 좋아. 완벽하게 이해했어. 아래 시간 써 있었네. 10일 눈금자의 도움. 자, 들어가자.
An old admonition is engraved here. Let no one ignorant of geometry or the irrational
무리수빛
numbers enter.
기하 이해 불가자. 무리수빛 문과 출입 금지.
"37 told me you are the integers. She's the genius kissed by the god of truth. She can see our numbers and has never made a mistake."
진리의 입맞춤.
But I don't understand. Why would you break the silence at the meeting?
소네트야 또 너야?
I apologize, Miss Sophia.
Sorry.
I won't defend our behavior.
You may save that apology for later. If you can persuade more than half of the people to vote for your friend's commutation,
또 투표하네?
perhaps she won't be
중국 게임
sentenced to
치곤
death. I have gathered some case files from the
민주적이네.
past. I hope it will be of some help.
These files are... But won't you be in trouble for helping us?
대피야. 소피아 너무 착해.
I have my own reasons. Integers are the living example of virtues, the standard of purification. It represents a soul existing in the world of forms, a true being. It is the floating points behind the decimal which dent the process of our overall purification. The evil. The ones who violate rules knowingly. The ones who turn a positive number into negatives. And a civil person, a criminal. If integers like you would lose your life over some unintentional mistakes, wouldn't it be a great shame? Besides, I can't stand the idea of you being
저형은 좀
killed
그렇긴
in
해.
front of me.
Not rigorous.
대37.
For one thing, we still don't know Vertin and Sonetto's numbers.
아직.
For another, the fact that every crow we've seen is black doesn't necessarily entail that
비난론
the next crow will
아시는구나.
also be black.
비납.
Even if every virtuous person
비납
we
관련이야.
met has been an integer, we can't be certain that the next one will still be an integer. Same case for irrational numbers.
You're right.
논리는 사망.
But people always tend to believe that virtuous people are integers. That is what we call belief.
Correct, but not entirely correct. Everyone can make mistakes. Numbers are just numbers. They are not associated with virtues.
Unlike me, you're always right, 37.
I don't know what differs us.
Will you be at the assembly?
Yes.
Then I will leave them with you. I'm not qualified to set foot in the Hall of Truth.
깜짝이야.
I have done poorly in receiving the guests. I will ask Six for my punishment after the assembly.
그게 무슨 소리니, 소피아야.
Huh? So you are not coming back to my laboratory?
왜 셀프 세금을
Neither will you help me review the calculation results or sort out the books?
계산 검증해줘잉.
The scripture shall not be challenged.
이 새끼도 은근
What's more,
광신도인데? 은근
Any students
광신도인데?
here can help you in the laboratory. It doesn't have to be me.
Had I known, I would have let someone else welcome Vertin and her friends. Like 210. He loves to brag to young ladies so much that he would take the punishment willingly.
또 디거스더야?
You were that someone else who was assigned to receive them in the first place. If I hadn't stopped you in time, how much longer would
머리
Regulus's
함부로?
head have stayed in your mouth? Not to mention what happened last time, and the time before that.
But the fact that I have messed up all the receptions before doesn't mean I may excel in the next one. The chances of messing up the first reception and the 100th reception are the same.
Whatever you say, you little sophist.
그게 무슨 소리니, 삼치라. 그게 무슨 소리니? 소피아는 좋은 사람이야.
Everyone says so.
그래.
But compliments won't help her find her number.
영혼의 숫자.
So, Vertin, are you ready for the debate?
결론 한 회? 역전 재판 들어가자.
Does that mean you will help us?
역전 재판 들어가자.
Of course. I don't want to miss the chance. What chance? The chance to see your
숫자를
numbers.
볼게.
There's no greater knowledge than the knowledge of oneself. And there's no more exciting truth than the truth of oneself. I can quickly tell which types of numbers you are, but it requires proof to know the exact number of your soul. I want to know the answer before you see your own numbers. So it's 37 who proves it, not Vertin. I'd be glad to give this chance to you.
그래. 그래.
That's boring. Let's go, Vertin. The assembly's about to start.
그래. 잘못. 세길. 아, 역전재판 들어가자. 피고는 나오시오. Are you okay?
Don't worry, Timekeeper. I'll defend myself. Back in the Foundation, I once won a public debate of a similar nature. This is my duty. I won't let it get in the way of the team's investigation.
Sonetto.
By our tradition, Miss Sonetto will be given the poisoned wine, so she will be muted and stay that way forever. However, Sophia raised her objection against the decision. After giving the matter some discreet thought, I have decided it is necessary to hold an assembly and take care of it democratically. Those of you who agree to the death sentence may remain seated. Those of you who wish to commute Miss Sonetto's punishment, please put your pebble into the pot in the middle of the hall. Now, Miss Sonetto, Miss Vertin, you may defend yourselves until the sand in this hourglass falls to the bottom.
I am Sonetto from St. Pavla Foundation. I wish all the honorable audiences here would lend me their ears to hear my defense as a humanitarian gesture.
왜 이렇게 어지럽지?
What number are you?
몰라. 네 MBTI는
Defendant,
몇이니?
the court requires an answer. What is your number?
너 MBTI가 뭐니?
Me? No, I don't have a number.
숫자가 뭔데?
Don't waste our time. People without a number cannot stand in the Hall of Truth. All her words are void. Sentence her to death now.
그 문구인데 미친 숫자 막이래.
42's argument is valid. Defenders, what do
어떻게
you wish
이름이
to contend?
42?
What? It's valid?
유효하다고? 소네트야.
Objection!
그래 삼치라 삼치라. 그래 삼치라. 도와줘.
According to the record, the last time we inflicted severe punishment was in
콩을 먹은 이방이.
1980 to a visitor who ate beans.
콩을 먹은 이방이.
He ate a carbuncle that feeds on beans. Then he was sentenced to death according to the
콩을
said
먹은
theory.
카몽크.
In our scripture, eating beans is the most evil sin, which undoubtedly fits the most severe punishment. But if we are now executing people for breaking the silence at the assembly, how would it reflect our attitude towards the consumption of beans? Has the
논리적이야.
latter become less sinful?
논리적이야.
I suggest Sonetto's punishment to be commuted.
콩 혐오가 먼저다. 논리적이야.
A good argument.
37's argument is deemed valid.
콩 혐오는 중요하지, 그치?
Objection.
아, 디거스 이게.
The punishment for eating beans is to throw the offenders into the Gorgon current, while the punishment for the silence breaker is to drink poisoned wine. Among all the punishments we have, there's no other punishment more dreadful than being thrown into the Gorgon current. Because eternity and infinity are the two things we have the least knowledge of, which makes them the most ghastly punishments among all.
증명하매?
Giving her the poisoned wine doesn't make the consumption of beans less sinful. Her argument is invalid.
210 이거 디거스랑 똑같이 생겼는데 너무 수상함.
Objection! Both of the crimes would fall into the same category if we are taking the punishment as a frame of reference, which is death.
변론은 37.
Objection. The two crimes in question are not commensurable, which makes your comparison invalid.
What's this?
소네트 당황.
I'm completely lost in this irrational debate.
2단계 변론?
I see. So that's how it
아,
works.
2단계 결론?
Timekeeper? Relax. I will help you.
대버틴. 임기응변은? 버왕.
I object.
대버황. 자, 전투 들어가자. 마도학자 특. 전투로 변론함. 잠깐만.
I'd like to start by quoting 42's first argument.
응?
People without a number cannot stand in the Hall of Truth. In that case,
반박은
it's
버왕.
not possible for Soneto to commit a crime.
개변은 버왕.
Because she can't even be in the hall.
What?
Good point, Virgin. This is our chance to out-argue them.
재밌는데? 그래.
It could be found, given that...
깡깡.
Time to check my calculation. Irrational. Or troublesome. It could be given that... Are you irrational numbers?
저기서? 아니지.
These are merely clumsy sophisms. We've all seen her break the maxim.
Objection! What you see cannot be submitted to the court as a transcendental fact. It's nothing but the fragments of the phenomenal world which can't be used in your argument.
Objection sustained. Please, ladies and gentlemen,
논리적인걸?
keep the debate logically consistent.
2단계 변론?
Since Soneto has no number, and a person without a number does not exist before the truth, Soneto thus didn't offend your truth. She didn't break any rules.
논리적이야. 진짜 말도 안 되는 소리만 하는구나. 오케이.
Objection! The rule breaker has a number. We can all tell that she is very likely an integer.
아이, 양자역학 읽고 오시라고요.
Therefore, she should be identified as an unknown number, not void. Your sophism has failed.
42's argument is held valid. Is there anything else you'd like to add, defendant?
진짜 어지럽다. 버틴 당황.
Tell you a secret, Virgin? We would call criminals negative numbers.
아, 음수 아시는구나.
I got it.
오케이.
It could be found, given that... Are you irrational numbers? Intersect and divide. Go away. It could be found, given that... Time to check my calculation.
It is easy to prove Soneto's innocence. According to the law of the excluded middle, Soneto either committed a sin or committed no sin. The two statements cannot be both false at the same time. Since we consider a criminal as a negative number, and a non-criminal as a positive number, Sonetto at present is considered an unknown number.
양자역학 들고 와라.
That means she doesn't belong to the criminal set, or the non-criminal set. She did not commit a sin, and did not commit no sin.
Paradox.
It's a paradox. I hereby demand to modify
한
the
봐줘라.
criminal sentence that has been given to Sonetto.
Victory? Okay, but what does it mean to us? I mean, what does it prove?
논리적이야.
The law of excluded middle. A good sophism. Good for you to create a paradox from one sentence of my argument.
극찬.
But pitifully, you've made a fatal mistake.
뭐?
You've taken my argument as the basis of your defense. I said people without a number should be expelled from the Hall of Truth. You don't have a number either, Miss Outsider. Based on my argument, which has also been approved by you,
372가 말했다고 하면 돼. 372가 말했다고 쳐.
There's no time left.
13 has a number. I saw it.
대37 또 당신입니까?
What? 37, do you know what you're saying?
Yeah. I read her number just now.
몇인데?
13's number is 0.
대강민 또 당신입니까? 아 씨발 내 김강민이 0번이라니 내 김강민이 내 김강민이
Come closer. That's right.
또
Take
긴
a
거
few more
나왔네.
steps and immerse yourself in the shadow, including that hat. You don't want those good ears to hear this private conversation. That pad of paper from the miss? Yes, the one wielding the ruler is quite valuable. I can tell it is of a certain age and records quite a lot of anecdotes. One visitor to the island took out a baguette from his luggage. To share it with others, he made an attempt to parcel it off. Another visitor fell to the ground and happened to sit on a quart measure and break it. You can learn the punishments for them from the paper. The former was thrown into the sea, while the latter into the further sea. Only God knows how this wine-dark sea holds so many visitors.
잔인하네.
Oh, the debate! That's really a pain in the neck for that logical, pragmatic assistant of yours, isn't it? People always tend to mark what they can't figure out as arcanists' doings, as if things would make sense once they do so. But it won't change the fact that the debate is only a game involving sophistry, improvisation, and straw man fallacy. So what makes it superior to beans, if the form is what they are really after? Anyways, whoever fools the others first will win the game. No arcanum at all. And that argument of hers is the best attraction for the audience. A special number. a zero.
이건 이제부터 제로다.
You are neither positive nor negative, which means you don't belong to either side. Now, imagine one side as an orderly line, and the other as those wandering... Come closer. You can... And that argument of her... That's ambitious, darling, and I love it. But you need to know that infinity is the most
역시
unfamiliar
무한은
thing
고조사
for the people,
투파.
and that's why it triggers the most curiosity. Whoever tries to eat up this elephant with one bite will get all bloated and pinned by their own weight, waiting to die like a turtle upside down. By then, I guess you would be eager to throw up the elephant and turn back into the adorable, easygoing zero we all like.
아, 그런 느낌.
See, just like you, people are always on... Come closer. And that... You are neither positive nor negative, which means in a restaurant, fruits are served without the seeds. But in a farm, the seeds are retained for the next harvest. Is there any value in the seeds? It depends on what you see when you look at them. The moment you realize that, you have come to the crossroad of fate. Now, back to the number we just talked about. Oh my! It's the prediction of your whole life. Can you believe you owe that spirited little genius a thank you? By the way, what do you see in her number? I always know you're a quick learner. You're very good at noticing new things. That's right. 37 is only 37. A nice unique prime number which equals the word genius. At least everyone prefers to think this way. Why not deify the one that is able to reach the truth when you have the chance? It's much easier to pin your hopes on others than to blame yourself. I guess you also did that, right, darling?
맛있죠.
It's okay. She never says no. She just lets the hopes pile up on her shoulder because she simply doesn't care at all. What a good child.
초콜릿 맛있다.
Who ate beans? Isn't that it could be found? Time to check my calculation. Intersect and divide. Rational. Even could be found. Intersect and divide. The final could be found. Welcome to the world of numbers. Uh-huh. That's troublesome. Isn't that? Uh-huh. It could be found. The final
서순.
demonstration. Intersect and divide. Welcome to the world of numbers.
아마 죽겠네. 수계 중심.
"37. You just said Vertin's number is 0. Do you know what it means?"
김강민이요. 대강민.
Very clearly.
또
Would you be
당신이니까.
able to submit proof to a payron?
No problem.
Half of you in this hall have put in the pebbles. If 37's argument is found to be true, every argument
True.
Vertin has spoken in Sonetto's defense will be
자,
deemed valid.
증명 들어가자.
Sonetto will be exempt from the punishment. I will announce the result once 37's proof has been validated by a payron. Thank you for your time.
영을 향만 살아남았다. 소네트 아무것도 안 했지만 살아남았다.
Sonetto. Timekeeper, I'm so sorry. I tried my best, but still I couldn't understand the debate. I failed again.
What happened to her? Come here, little girl. We need to move her
서윗
outside.
210.
Lie her down on the ground and wipe her palm and feet with dew and peppermint
아니
oil.
서윗하잖아.
That would be okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The distinguished number 0.
고귀한 숫자 0. 진짜 진짜인가?
I'm kidding.
농담이구나. 그래.
I'm 210. Well,
자.
instead of the number, I prefer people call me the rhetorician.
디거스가
I've heard your
아니구나.
preachment. Pretty demagogic.
That's how logic works. With logic, I can prove that you'd cease to exist in the next
그놈의
moment,
아킬레우스의
or that there
역사는
are no other people in this world
제논의
except
역사는
me. Achilles can never outrun a tortoise, and a flying arrow is forever motionless.
그놈의 제논의 역사는. 아 잠깐. 왜
This
이렇게 아프지?
debate is nothing but meaningless wordplay. That
아프다.
pacifist let you off this time.
평화주의자.
6. A perfect number indeed. For he knows the benefit of
6이 완벽한
reconciliation.
숫자야.
Who wants to have blood on their hands and be devoured by the cycle of hatred? Yet it's a torture for any intelligent mind to hear such an immature debate. Can you feel the suffering of our leader now?
I'm sorry.
No apology needed, Miss Outsider. I also feel sorry for your pain,
서윗은 210.
given that 37 has revealed your number.
그게 왜요?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? 그게 뭔데?
37. Our evil little genius. The most cunning star of Hermes. She's been having fun revealing others' numbers for a long time. Our numbers are our essence. And it's also the most important proof we get once in our lifetime. but she enjoys taking that opportunity away from you. Just because her talent allows her to do so.
내 처음을 뺏어간 거야? 너무해.
She did that to her friend too. She found out Sophia's number.
소피아의 숫자.
But without casting an eye on that paper with her number on it,
루트
Sophia
이마냥
threw it into the sea.
바다에 던졌구나.
Sophia is Sophos. But you, I pity you.
It doesn't seem like trouble to me.
Alas, poor little Vertin. You still don't understand. The number of our souls suggests our fate. It might be changed through algorithms temporarily, swirling, shifting, or transforming alongside other changes occurring on the coordinate axis. But in the end, we can only be ourselves. 1 is thought. 2 is opinion. 3 is wisdom.
그런 거 있죠.
4 is strength. 5 enthusiasm. 6 harmony. 7 order. 8 philanthropy. 9 is restraint, while 10 is completion. 0, however, is in the middle of the axis, the origin of the frame of reference. It's neither positive nor negative, neither prime nor composite. Things are ever changing, but you stay the same. Your loneliness also lasts forever.
뭔 소리야?
This is your fate. Being exposed in full view of the crowd, yet you know nothing about it. 37 was acting on impulse, yet she opened Pandora's box. She leisurely reveals your fate. That carefree behavior makes no difference to picking up a shell on a beach. How could I not pity you?
Miss Vertin.
Hmm.
37's proof has passed the review.
Jolly
Your friend will now
box.
be exempt from the punishment for violating the rules. However, she has to take some catch-up lessons on the scripture.
아, 난 0이구나. 그래. 증명이 통과되었다.
Please, meet me at the hall tomorrow at noon. I would have words with you.
37이 증명 금방 하네. 역시 MBTI의 신인가? MBTI 증명 완료. 아, 잠깐만. 5-19까지 있잖아. 두 시간? 아직 좀 널널하고. 뭐라는 카나. 드디어 한글 번역을 해주는구나. 드디어 한글 번역을 해주는구나. 영어 더빙도.
Before this negotiation begins, I wish to tell an
협상?
allegory to the two of you. A group of people
아,
were
동굴,
imprisoned in a cave.
플라톤. 아, 플라톤 아시는구나.
Behind them, there was a fire. Before them was a tall, solid wall. Their legs and necks were chained and fixed, so they were constrained to look nowhere but to gaze at the wall in front of them. When they dropped their eyes, they saw their own body. When they looked up, the flickering light of the fire fell over them, and they only saw the shadows of what was passing behind them.
그래. 플라톤 아시는구나.
No one had lived one day outside the cave. The shadows cast on the wall all there was to be perceived as reality. They had no knowledge of the real world. One day, one of them escaped from the cave, walked into the light, and saw the true world with his own eyes for the first time. Everything he saw or felt in the cave was nothing more than a mere shadow of the object's true form. Our world is a poor one, Miss Verton. The phenomenal world is the cave in this allegory, where we are surrounded by shadows or some humble fractions of the truth. It is ugly, frivolous, filthy, perishable, subject to decay, and filled with hollow desires and meaningless struggles. Only the wise can walk out of that cave and see the world as it truly is. In that eternal, transcendent world, everything is in its most perfect form. I pray that you, Miss Verton, the representative of the
아르카나 왜
Pavlov
있는데?
Foundation, and you,
아르카나는 왜 있는데?
the counterpart of Manus Vindictae, would pay heed to my words. Everything you've been fighting each other for means no more than some fragments of phenomena to us.
폭풍우
There's only one thing worth doing. That is, to seek higher wisdom, develop one's virtue, and achieve
아르카나는 몇
greatness
번이니?
in life. We have never set foot on the soil dampened by the storm, nor have we ever been involved in the disputes brought by the torrents of time. I beg you, do not take your conflict in the phenomenal world into the realm of truth.
For certain. It was never my intention to sully the sanctuary of truth.
Then, to prevent a situation like this from happening again,
저기 뭐시오?
I would like to ask you two to carve your names on these 2 stone bangles and drip a drop of your blood on each of them. Once the bracelet is put on, no one will be able to remove it. From now on, as long as you're on this island, none of your people will draw blood from one another. Or the bangle shall draw all the blood from you. The peace agreement is so decided.
I appreciate that. I'll sign it.
뺄 수 있을 것 같으면 멋진 손코였다.
The peace agreement.
Lady Vertin, we meet again.
레이디 버틴.
I wish the best to thy friend.
그래 아르카나야.
She's doing well, thanks to you.
You're most welcome.
내 먼지가
Thou shalt quench
슈나이더가
have changed. I would not wish to shed even a drop of Arcanist's blood in vain.
미친 순혈충.
Schneider should be the victim of a merciless bullet.
비순혈 슈나이더 아웃.
Vertin, my pitiful child. Did you forget? That merciless bullet cameth from a
What?
gun never belonging to me.
What's Manus Vindicte's purpose to be here?
바로 말 돌리는 버튼.
Hearken the archaic wisdom.
고대지.
Just as thou doest. I am not surprised. I adore thy visage, Lady Vertin, emotionless in the storm. Alas, no man shall bravest the storm and live, including thee.
너무 야한데.
A wooden box in the Elitiaus base has my name on it. Was that your doing?
Sadly, it wasn't. I hope thee findeth the answer
뭐
satisfactory.
너네 쪽인가 보네. 런.
It's burning.
아 뜨거워. 북극이 멸망할 정도로.
Is that Miss Arcana? Miss Arcana, please don't go.
살려줘.
And save us.
너 디거스냐? 잠깐. 목소리가 디거스인데 저거. 목소리가 디거스인데.
No! Come back! Come back!
대삼칠. 또 당신이니까.
I just started introducing vectors and matrices.
벡터와 행렬?
Interesting part.
좀 들려줘봐. 좀 들려줘봐. 나도 듣자. 와, 공짜 강의. 공짜 수학 강의.
Vertin. Great. You always show up at the right time and right place. Stop the mass people! Whatever it takes!
아, 전투야? 아니. 아, 전투네. 왜 역상성이 몰라?
Look at my back.
나쁜 놈들이 다 디거스더고요. 병인가?
Wanna watch
병인가?
the aerial stunts?
Time to check my calculation. Oh, it's a bubble.
뭐야? 교난신 나왔어. 진짜 나왔네 이거. 아니네. 뭐야? 뭐지? 왜 실검이지? 자, 잡자. 깡.
It could be found. Oh, it's a bubble. Intersect
나왔네.
and divide. Uh-huh. Stop. The final demonstration. final demonstration.
Wanna watch the aerial stunts? Fine.
Welcome to the world of numbers.
Right wing.
Good.
Right wing. Wanna watch the aerial stunts?
It could be something that.
A little trick.
Are you a rational number? Or is a bubble?
Fine. Wanna watch the aerial stunts? Oh. Don't blink.
They are much naughtier than the Foundation's kids.
좋아. 허리가. 아홉 시간?
Look at you, climbing out of the cave in the allegory, all dusty and dirty like a little savage. They must have tried to fill your little brain with long preachment. But you should feel lucky, because at least they didn't give you a quiz right after that. Oh, how modest you are. Looks like you didn't spend all your student days catching tree frogs. Try to reach the corners of your mind, if you would. And there you will find another bunch of people standing in front of a stone table. Yes, those people in gowns. White gowns with gray diamond patterns. One of them was standing on the stairs, gathering all the little vacant eyes to his side. What was he called? Give me a second. Teacher, instructor, tutor, the educator. Just titles like that. No names at all. No one gets to write down their names on that banner, after all. But they have nothing to complain about. You know what they say? What is reasonable is real. That which is real is reasonable. They showed you a broad avenue in their teachings where you could enjoy a sense of security with all the solid ground, convenient automobiles, and warm sunshine. And at the end of the avenue even lies an inspiring mission, to which you are expected to devote your whole life. There is a distinction between good and bad here, and it's as clear as our innate sense of right and wrong, like a floor of black and white tiles. Any stains on it will be noticed immediately. But in fact, there exists another path in the woods. It's much less traveled, leading to the unknown darkness which cannot be seen with eyes or proved false. You may even experience indescribable chaos and madness there. This path, however, has an excellent view, and it's one of a kind. The plants are thriving with bursting energy, and the flowers are blooming in a delightful atmosphere. So, which will you take? Oh, that's not an easy choice to make. This grandma must give you a round of applause. I would have even pinned a boutonniere to your suit if I had one. But I have to remind you, those things in there are not easy to deal with. They can drive you insane, and you have to be very careful. You've seen the living proof. Many were freaked out after they came back, and people had to tie and lock them up. Others even dug their own graves. Oh, my. That was a bit over the top. I hope I didn't scare you, darling. Here's some good news to cheer you up. Actually, there's still one more way you can take. It would be a good choice if you want to enjoy the scenery without getting lost in the darkness. I'm sure you know that myth. You shall take the soul of your love out of the underworld, yet you shall not look back. That's right. You shall pass by the sleeping sirens, yet you shall not make a sound. The ones with the belief set off. They entered the dark woods barefooted, yet moved so smoothly, as if they were walking on the avenue. They kept their mouths shut and eyes forward. They never turned back, never picked up what was not theirs, never set foot on the forbidden lands, and never looked straight to sacred greatness. They showed frugality, patience, and wisdom in the face of hunger and danger. So the beasts continued to lurk in the shadow, and the ones with the belief passed through the woods safely, until the path disappeared along with the direction sign. Then the first one to look back gave an exclamation before being exiled. Think about what I just said. That which is real is reasonable. Never look back in the woods, darling. If you don't want to be turned into a pillar of salt which can do nothing but wail, then never, ever look back. Yes, we'd better stay awake, stay calm, stay cautious all the time. But then there comes the problem. How can you ignore your love for those thriving plants and blooming flowers? How are you supposed to deal with the unstoppable feeling that overflows like a melody when it is stirred up by the beauty of the scenery? Of course, you will cry the loudest cry, dance the wildest dance, drink the strongest drink, and vomit all the filth inside you. After all, there is no need to enter the woods if the soul-stirring scenery is not what you are after, right? No, so you better let it slip your mind, darling. Just let it go and hurry forward. Remember to keep your eyes shut and hold your breath. When you do so, the scenery will no longer mean anything to you, nor will the fragrance of the flowers. You will get out of the woods and reach where the truth lies. Is that what you want? Don't worry. We have plenty of time. You may come back at any time and pick another way.
진짜 엄청 길구나. Right.
Congratulations, Miss Sonetto. You are the fastest learner of our doctrine of all the visitors in the past half century.
교리 정독은 소황.
On behalf of all orators, I award you this laurel wreath.
즉시 월계관.
No. I wouldn't have achieved this without your guidance.
소네트 너무 이쁘네.
Those mathematics statements are really inspiring.
그리고 싶다.
I've learned a lot. But there's still something confusing me, such as Pythagoras and his golden thigh, his memory of the previous
비논리성은 이해
lifetime,
못하는.
and the transmigration for every 216 years. Could you please tell me more about these?
헉.
Why would people fail to see the charm of the matrices?
또 잡혔느냐?
This is not right. I need to spend more time on teaching.
설명할 시간.
Anyone!
대수학.
Thus my journey of art is doomed to fail. I really don't want to study maths anymore.
미친.
Timekeeper, you are here.
I heard that you completed all the lessons on the scripture. This laurel wreath suits you well.
월계관 이쁘네. 기스 플로팅. 버팅.
Timekeeper, I'm sorry.
기스 플로팅.
At the assembly, I failed to understand the arcanist's logic. It was totally different to the debates I have participated
이게
in.
본론이다.
But now I have...
That was not your fault, Sonetto. It is now behind us. I need to tell you something more important. I've signed a peace agreement with Arcana, and the price of
죽음의
breaking
계약.
it is death.
What?
교전 멈춰.
So Manus Vindictae is also restrained by the stone bangle like we are.
Yes, she put it on without hesitation. But I don't think her purpose would be as simple as hearkening the ancient
리얼
wisdom.
크크.
I attacked Manus' followers earlier as 37 asked me to. But I received no punishment from the bangle.
37에 붙었다.
Perhaps this island makes its own
공격에 대한
judgment on what to be
판정.
classified as hostility. Like it has a mind of its own. Sonetto, do not report this to the headquarters before we figure out how the bangle works. After all, there are many other things to investigate on this island, other than Manus Vindictae.
I see. I will contact Miss Juvis and Miss Moiselle first and keep an eye on Arcana. Timekeeper, this island, the Manus' mask, and your suitcase are all immune to the storm. Does this mean we could collect more asymmetrical nuclide R samples?
I tried to collect some samples last night in the outer region of the island. But the detecting device showed nothing. If we were to find out more, we have to go to the center area.
What are you conspiring now?
소피아 하이.
Do not poke the fire with swords, and do not jump over a crossbar. The assembly will not be held every time when there's a crime. Please take heed of my warning,
선
and
좀
do not
지키세요.
overstep the line. Learn a lesson from them.
대리야.
Lilia, didn't you say you have Regulus with you safely?
Apologies, Vertin. I was going to rescue Sonetto through a very creative
탈옥은?
underground tunnel,
레왕.
but things didn't quite go as planned.
Not a bad innovation for a simple clap on the forehead. If only you didn't miscalculate the location of the explosion.
This apple is grateful that it didn't get blasted into a puddle of apple jam.
Warning. Shell cleaning required. Warning.
대F.
I don't know why, but when I was in that cave, ideas kept flooding into my
하루
head.
계시는.
Though, judging by the outcome, they weren't all good ideas.
On a routine patrol, I found them trying to break into
지하
the cave.
통신.
I'm not surprised that an irrational number would try to trespass on forbidden ground.
MBTI
But you two,
믿을 게 못 되나?
the integer and the fraction, what were you doing with her? This is a serious crime.
Do we have to go through this debate again?
It's okay, Timekeeper. I will defend Regulus.
무슨 소린 소네트야.
I've thoroughly studied the scripture, and this time I'm sure I can do better.
Forget it.
Forget it.
It is unwise to waste time trying to understand an irrational number's motive. Besides, we should let the reckless take care of the least important matters.
그게 무슨 소리니 소피아야.
That's it. Regulus, you will
해변 청소 들어가자. 소피아 미소 이쁘다.
Me? Again?
Since you have too many floating points,
보통
word
소수점.
discipline would not work on you. We would have suggested you study with the rest of the students here. Abstain from eating meat, bathe in cold water, rise with the Apollo star, study our doctrine, read the scripture aloud on the beach, so as to remove your floating points and purify your soul.
What? I won't do any of that.
But taking your peculiar character into consideration,
특수한 캐릭터.
I decided that some compulsory labor would be the better
징계도요.
option.
몸으로 갚아라.
Oh, that's the
Sure.
best news of the day. I'd rather clean up the rubbish on the beach than be surrounded by people giving sermons all the time. At least the rubbish doesn't talk gibberish. I'd be dead if you didn't change your mind.
Regulus, studying the scripture is not that scary.
그게 무슨
They will
소리니?
teach you and guide you until you
소네트야.
take full command. Just like taking lessons at school.
Huh? Is that what schools are like?
학교가 그런 곳이던가?
Haven't you been to a school, Regulus?
A great
초졸은
pilot would
레왕.
trivial matters as such. So, where were we? Which part of the beach needs to be taken care of by the great captain?
My laboratory.
네?
Whoa!
연구실 청소 들어가자.
"37. Aren't you supposed to preach to the visitors?"
I've seen their numbers. A group of negative repeating infinite decimals. They will achieve nothing but to repeatedly step in the river of mistakes. I gave up on them.
Fine. Those of you who are complicit in breaking into the cave will also be sent to labor. Sonetto and Lilia will come with me to patrol. Regulus, you can go clean the lab. As for Verton, you will assist 37 with her study of the emanation. Don't waste more time on the trivial matters of the phenomenal world. Integers. That was the sole reason you were on this island, was it not?
Don't let down your guard. The arcanists on this island are not as easy to deal with as you imagined. Down in the cave, I heard some pretty alluring and intriguing anecdotes.
Miss Lilia, this way. You will cover this area.
Stay on the radio.
Don't worry, Timekeeper. Lilia and I will keep an eye on Manus Vindictae.
We are counting on you, Sonato. I have a feeling we are coming closer to a big secret.
호석의 타령병 맞기. 삼치를 돕는다. 아, 왜 이렇게 팔이 이렇게 힘들 것 같아.
Cave and could be found.
Fine.
Intersect and divide. Are you irrational members?
Right wing.
Cave and it could be found.
Wanna watch the aerial stunts?
Intersect and divide. Are you irrational members?
Don't blink.
What? What am I looking at?
야, 뭘 보고 있는 거지?
So your so-called sacred project is this gigantic IDM computer?
신성한 대형 IDM 컴퓨터 연구. 신성하네요.
I was curious about them during my stay in Laplace. Those later versions of the model are so much better than the 66 ones. But this one doesn't seem that far advanced to those. This is not a junk piece the man has sold you, is it?
Items of the phenomenal world are all a waste.
그게 무슨 소리니?
This one is long broken. After the emanation, we couldn't find anyone to repair it.
Why do you keep referring to the storm as the emanation? What does the emanation mean?
It is the waves of Numa.
영성의 파도.
We are the expellees of the world of forms. We were banished to this damp and dark cave. Everyone here is obsessed with the fake light on the wall, but forgets to look for the truth. Numa, however, will lead us to escape the cave and return to a more supreme realm.
You make it sound like we're living in piles of rubbish.
Aren't we?
Of course not. If you ask me, I'd say you have absolutely no idea how wonderful the outside world is, because you have never left here to try it yourself. Dr. Pepper, the music festivals, Rory Storm, the Hollies, and the Rolling Stones. Oh, there are too many to count. If it weren't for this sick storm, I would still be riding a motorcycle in one of those races in London.
Your soul must be pretty contaminated.
And the computer, they can calculate extremely large numbers within seconds, better than hundreds of thousands of you combined together.
In the case of numbers, it's not the bigger the better. Also, this computer has never played a useful part in our study.
Come on, mate. You people just leave it in a cave. It's like sending an infant to the kitchen and waiting for it to bring you dinner. Never mind, you'll see what I mean after I fix it.
한 고쳐? 자, 수리 들어가자.
Can you fix an IDM Regulus?
너 아이딘 고칠 줄 알아?
No, but I've seen the La Paz people do it.
이거?
It shouldn't be too difficult.
믿을만한가?
Oh, the dust! When was the last time you sent people down here to clean?
바로 더러워졌는데?
Oh, some critters are nesting here. Oh, did I break into your
먼저
party?
들어가자.
Bertin, come give me a hand. They won't let me touch them. Look at my back. Wanna watch the aerial stunts?
크리터 둥지가 왜 있어? 전투.
A little trick.
청소를 얼마나 안 했어?
It could be fun. Are you a member? Thank you for your cooperation.
Right with it. Haven't you eaten?
Relax.
Wanna watch the aerial stunts?
No worries. It could be fun. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh.
Relax.
Wanna watch the aerial stunts?
I smell the scent of mint in it.
Right with Haven't you eaten? Whatever. Сколько побед. Swallow my exhaust.
Breathe. Isn't that? It could be fun. Intersect and divide. Oh, there's a bubble. Victory. Okay, but what does it mean to us?
이걸 고치네.
You fixed it.
이걸 고치네.
It's great to have you clean the laboratory, Regulus. Your floating point immediately reduced.
Oh, is that a compliment? Sounds like one to me. Thank you.
땅크.
It's a wordplay, Captain.
네.
Infinity minus any numbers still equals to infinity.
Fine. I should have given up the idea of changing your eccentric sorting system a long time ago. What's the meaning of humans inventing computers if these machines were only left here for some critters to nest in?
Thanks to you, now we can have a look at the previous models, Regulus.
예전 모델.
But it's a pity since it only has the data before 2003.
2003년 이전에.
Everything in the past 4 years has gone missing.
컴퓨터는 사망.
This is our chronology, Vertin.
컴봉결로였네.
From 1999 to 2007, the emanation has taken place 7 times. In the initial 4 years, the emanation has a pattern. First, it brought us back to the 90s, then the 80s, and then the 70s. After that, it suddenly leaped to the 30s. In the subsequent 3 years, it took place twice. Every record here can perfectly match what is in the Foundation's files. Wait, these are the records before 2003, you say? But this one refers to the storm in 1966, which happened recently. These are indeed the records before 2003. What's following the records is our forecast.
That's to say, you prophesied the 1966 storm 4 years prior to its occurrence. How is this possible? That you are clever enough to develop such a precise mathematical model, while at the same time you just let the idea
할 줄 아는 녀석들이 컴퓨터에.
We just worked out the patterns in the number sequences. You made such precise prediction even without leaving the island. That's incredible. You don't need to go into a river to find out the pattern of its flow. Moreover, we would send people to observe in the phenomenal world. My mother was one of them. She is the co-author of this model. Nobody knows this computer better than her.
컴봉겔로 마망.
So you have a mother too?
You have a mother too, 이지랄. 이지랄. 또 패드립을 하느냐. Two? 너도?
37. Where is your mother now? Like many people, she was restored to her true form. Since then, I took over this laboratory.
헉. 본질로 헉. X.
The form, you said? 37?
아, 님은
What is it?
같습니다.
What kind of question is this? The form, or the essence, is what's left of you after all the fakeness has been peeled off.
그게 무슨 소리니, 삼칠아. 레구라 진짜 패드립을 치면 어떡해. 잠깐만, 슬슬 머리 아프네. 19 스테이지까지.
Raindrops never actually fall. They are motion.
뭐 쉬었다 할까?
Nice. Nice.
Raindrops never actually fall. They are motionless.
몇 시간 남았는데 밤새면 할 수 있겠니? 그냥 최대한 해볼까? 왠지 느낌이 이거 마지막으로 하고 잠깐 쉴 것 같은데.
Now we are listening to the New Year collection. The world-famous painting Mona Lisa was found and returned to Musée du Louvre in the afternoon of December 13th. The US Congress passed the Federal Reserve Act on December 23rd, formally establishing the Federal Reserve System. The conflict between Austria-Hungary and Serbia has escalated. Bulgaria challenged the Bucharest Peace Treaty. Tension is building up over the Balkan Peninsula. In London, futurists gathered under Big Ben, celebrating the upcoming 1914.
This is news of the outside world?
What about on your side?
Well, I am with Sophia. Arcana's still in the hall. She hasn't taken any action so far. Got it. Please keep an eye on the Manus followers. Be mindful of the restrictions set by the Bangle.
Who are you talking to?
Just checking up on Lilia.
Please stay vigilant during the patrol. This is the last place we need to check.
잘 들어가자.
We must keep this graveyard clean. Our dead deserve to be left in peace and undisturbed by the phenomenal world.
요지네.
Miss Sophia, you said this is the graveyard?
Yes, the geometry graveyard it is called. 4 years ago, my father was restored to a geometric body on his way back to the island. So was 37's mother, who was also on that ship.
내 부모가
Why are you crying, Sophia?
어린 삼칠이.
I was wrong.
우리가 틀렸어.
We miscalculated the impacted area of the emanation.
오도나 비껴갔어.
We thought the ships would be safe in the Gorgon current, but the safe area is in fact 5 degrees away. When the emanation happened, the bow of their ship had just entered the safe area. But it was too late. My dad is gone.
So is your mom.
내 엄마가.
I know. But why are you crying? My mom and your dad have come back to us, right?
Have come back.
그게 무슨 소리니, 삼칠아.
Do you call this coming back? Like this? In the form of geometric bodies? Cold and silent? Being pushed to the shore?
그게 무슨 소리니, 삼칠아.
No.
테드립은 삼칠.
Look at them. These geometric bodies. How pure and how elegant. I've never seen such perfect geometric bodies before.
네 부모 쩔더라.
If they are not from the eternal and transcendental world of forms.
네 부모 기하 물질 쩔더라. 그게 무슨 소리니?37? 그게 무슨 소리니?
I'm going to study the emanation, Sophia. This is the best chance ever. The transcendental world finally opens its door to us. We will reach our hands to the forms and explore the oldest and eternal laws. Will you help me, Sophia?
그게 무슨 소리니? 이 상황에서 기습 플러팅을, 기습 고백을.
Next time I will definitely make a better calculation. I promise.
왜 우는 거야, 소피야? 왜 우는 거야?
Thank you for assisting 37 with her research, Snetto.
대피야.
You have helped us greatly by just coming onto this island.
아이씨 뭐야, 오토가 스킵했어.
No, I didn't do anything. Timekeeper knows the storm better.
For all this time, 37 has been locked up in the laboratory, refusing
키키
to talk to
삼칠이.
anyone, nor participate in any group study.
보치야.
Since the two-day emanation in 1929. It is you who helped her revive her interest in other affairs in Apiron.
These are Timekeeper's contributions. I barely did anything.
그렇긴 해.
I can't help 37. Because I don't see the charm of numbers. I lack the perception that an integer should have. That's why I can't see my own number.
The number's charm? Sorry, I have never thought about this. For me, Arcanum is my inborn mission. If you ask me, you are an unbelievably excellent Arcanist. You can flatten the ground, clean up the beach, and rectify errors. You did it in an efficient and precise manner, which is already an advanced ritual.
Any students who have sworn to knowledge can do this easily.
맹세?
They aren't doing my job because they wish not to waste time on these trivial fragments of the phenomenal world. Because they have seen the truth.
The phenomenal world is never complete. Like you can never draw a perfect circle there. No matter how much time you spend on it or how sophisticated your device is, it is impossible to draw a perfect circle in the phenomenal world. Arrows always exist. The floating points after the decimal can be reduced, but not destroyed. The perfect circle only exists in the abstract transcendental world. Of course, anyone in the world can find out the value of pi through the most primitive method. Egyptians, Greeks, Chinese, and Babylonians, they have all tried. They made circles with twine, painted on the ground with twigs, or measured the land with cubic rods. But none of them actually drew a perfect circle. However different their practices were, they found out the sole truth, the approximate value of pi. Because the essence of the circle is hiding in the imperfect manifestation of it. This is the truth. It is eternal, unchanged, pure, and transcendent. Anyone can reach out to it at any time, in any place, by any means, and everyone will get the same answer from it. The forms transcend all matters. The world of matters we live in is being flooded and destroyed by the tides of Numa. When the tides recede, what is left on the beach is the essence.
This doesn't sound right. Let me think. How come your theory reminds me of the Manus Doctrine?
37. We see the storm very differently. Among all the other things, we saw it first of all as a disaster.
But earthquakes, floods, volcanic eruptions, these are also disasters. These catastrophic events happen not because they have a reason to destroy. They just happen in this world, like we do. This is what my mother taught me. She must be proud that she's a perfect geometric body now.
I'm sorry for mentioning your mother.
Sorry. 삼치라 또 삐졌느냐?
Why do you apologize, Furton? Are you feeling guilty? This is a very unusual feeling for a number like you.
그게 무슨 소리니?
I don't get it. Why did you say my number is 0?
그러게. 왜 미스터 제로인? 재밌으니까 한 번 더 볼래. 생각보다 재밌어.
I just saw it.
헉.
The numbers of everything and every being would just emerge in front of me.
고백인가요? 고백인가요? 고백인가요?
I see it, and I speak it out loud. That's it.
210 told me numbers imply our fate.
leave him, Verton. Numbers are just numbers. I know nothing about fate. Fine. I don't think I like 210.
심각한 210 혐오입니다.
both ways for us.
네, 혐오할 만해. 디거스 닮아서 싫어.
Because I once said he is a poor number. 210 equals 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. He is the product of all prime numbers between 1 and 10. Looks like he has it all, but he doesn't have any real forte. He likes to sugarcoat himself with metaphors. Only those with a flawed essence would adore the trickery of words.
This is indeed an extreme comment.
And 6 is no better. Every leader of a Pyrrhon has been a 6. 6 is the perfect number since it equals the sum of all its proper divisors.
기수 혐오.
1 plus 2
372
plus 3
남자들만 혐오하는데.
But this number has been overrated. He's not that special.
What about your number? What does 37 mean?
삼칠아, 그게 무슨 소리니?
I don't know.
뭘로?
I am 37. I've known it since I was born. So does everyone else. People told me what it means, but I have never tried to prove their theory. I know very little of fate, so I always think, even if I find out their essences, does it mean I have known them better?
"37 once tried to tell me my number.
삼칠이 보치였구나.
She wrote it down and put it into a bottle, but I couldn't get up the courage to open it. I didn't want to know. I once made a horrible mistake. An unforgivable miscalculation. It makes me worried that I may also be a mistake. So I threw the bottle into the sea.
와, 소피아 이쁘다.
This is how 37 is different from us. We are all prisoners of that cave. Only the wise one can find her way out of the cave and return to rescue the rest of us. I'm the ignorant prisoner who sits, and she's the wise one who returns. I will be crushed into dust by the truth, while she will be the star, shining above it. The truth is like the stars in the night sky. Beautiful, but cold. It has been there long before my existence, and will stay that way long after I'm gone. sheds no tears for the weak, nor laments the tragic fate. It's forever bright, and always moving forward. The person who avoids the truth is not qualified to study it. I'm sorry. My interpretation has been emotional.
No. I think I kind of know how you feel, Miss Sophia. However unworthy you think you are, there must be something we can do. Maybe we can't reach the core of the truth, but we can clean up the path to it for the future explorers. This is our fate.
Interesting insight. I have come to understand why 37 likes you so much. Let us go back to work then. Start from dusting the tombstones.
Alright, I've had enough of these Sol Numa related idle topics. I want to have a look at your model. Wow, seriously? How did you get this far?
This model has been proven wrong.
대삼칠.
For 4 whole years we had been optimizing it. But the emanation in 1929 only lasted for 2 days, which means our calculation was entirely a failure. That model is just like this computer. It's a piece of junk. And this is all I can present to you.
No, it's not junk. I think I know why your model didn't work.
What?
What?
Manus Vindictae has changed history.
그 재건.
They accelerated history, forcing historical events to happen earlier than they were supposed to. Thus, the storm in 1929 occurred sooner than it should.
No way. Controlling the emanation. Changing the history of the outside world. Numa is eternal and transcendental. It won't obey any orders given from the phenomenal world. Neither will it change its patterns because of some fragments.
I'm telling the truth, 37. I've been there, in the storm of 1929. Your model was not wrong. You just missed some key information. You've never been to the place where the storm falls, and thus know nothing about the symptoms of the storm syndrome and the true purposes of Manus Vindictae.
No, that's impossible.
삼칠아.
Even if there are means to control the emanation,
아름답지
it
않아.
wouldn't be like this. If this is true, does it mean the phenomenal world, this insignificant phenomenal world, is more transcendental? Mother's model was defeated by this?
내 엄마가 틀릴 리 없어.
Burton, could you
마
give us
증명해봐라.
the proof that Manus Vindictae accelerated history and triggered the emanation?
함 증명해봐라.
I swear I wasn't lying.
맹세해줄게.
No, not like this.
아니 증명하라고. 그렇잖아. 플러팅하지 말고.
Go to a sacred place, to the Hall of Truth, in the depths of the cave. There, everyone can see the essence of the world. I beg you, give them your proof, just like how we submit the proof of our soul number.
좋아. 얼마 안 남았고. 와. 화장실 좀 가기 전에.
Come here. Place your hand on it. Feel the texture. The craft is one of a kind. Not some pieces you can get from the flea market.
후. 좋아. 사실 안 좋아. 어디야? 좋아.
I mean it. This is appealing, and even the most traditional, delicate, and expensive kind. It has applied fiery red as the dominant color, and the stitches are perfectly neat. Oh.
이거 오톤.
From the sea, just like you, darling. It arrived with a meerschaum pipe, a glass jar, a pack of sugar cubes, and a child in panic. Both she and the Keeling were born on the land where the craft originated. Their appearances apply the same dominant color, and the patterns in them share similar complexity. Oh, your curiosity is aroused. But we are not done with the carpets yet. You've always got to get a souvenir or two every time you reach a new place. So you will have something to show when you tell the stories one day, right?
잠깐만. 진짜 급한 거 나와. 좋아, 됐어.
Look at these handmade fabrics. How splendid! Those incredible patterns were the only thing on the craftswomen's minds when they made the carpets. It's safe to say they have spent their whole life improving their skills at using the vertical loom. And that's how we get these carpet knots arranged in beautiful lines.
OBS가 끊겼는데? 괜찮은 거겠지? 괜찮은 거겠지?
But they are just people like us. What if they get distracted? What if the carpet knots go off the right track and get tied to the wrong threads? Then you will be in trouble. Big trouble. All the problems in the universe will come at you, and the situation will be even worse than the bureaucratic system of a millennial empire. They always step into the same... Come here, I need... Get both. Oh, but they are... Then you will be in trouble. I like the pragmatic quality in you. I'm sure it will make your life even more wonderful. The people will be impressed and line up to tackle the problems for you. Oh, don't be mad. You know, every question has a questioner when they are raised. Likewise, every error has a corrector when they are corrected. That's the correctors, an ancient profession. Their duty is to remove the loose threads and iron out the wrinkles on the carpets. In the language of this island, that is to check the calculations on the papyri and even the holes on the punched tapes. No one is capable of doing this job except the altruists, because it is similar to unraveling a ball of wool. Besides finding the end of the threads, you must always pay attention to the cats. Yes, the cats. They may jump on the ball and make things even worse. And she, the red-haired little girl with the carpet in her arms, was overwhelmed at the beginning.
잠깐만, 비상.
Not yet familiar with the ruler, she tried her best to find the end of the threads. So the cats took the opportunity to jump on her together and left countless scratches on that little forehead. Poor girl. See, that's the problem every corrector has to deal with. Their job is to correct errors. But what if their own existence is also part of the errors? Oh, it's no big deal. There is more than one loom in this world. She left the complicated patterns behind and came to this simple kingdom featuring numbers only. There she made the first contact with a spinning loom named geometry. She had never seen anything like that before, and it was almost impossible for her to comprehend how it worked. She could hardly convert the numbers on the books into an actual diagram in her brain. Without a whole picture of what she was working on, she resorted to her hard work and more hard work. Then a long time passed, leaving one wound after another on her fingers. Later, the wounds even became calluses. In the end, her hands were no longer tender, but tough enough to resist the damage from the loom. Yes, She has won a place on this island for herself.
야, 이거 마이크가 이상한데? 필터가 왜 작동을 안 하냐?
Yes, she's a quick learner. She learned even faster than some of the locals. But that was not enough. Because she has been outmatched by her playmate, the leading one in the field of mathematics on the island. That girl is like a perfect piece of satin born by nature. It is decorated by the beauty of mathematics and geometry. No manual work involved. In order to reach the showcase where that perfect piece lies, and to stay on the right track and fit into the school, she has done everything she could. But she is still the most distinctive carpet there. Anyone can tell that as long as they spend some time on the island. Of course not. She's only a bit different from others. So she will continue to weave on the loom until one day the spindle pierces her callus and the fire burns everything to the ground. Shh. I should stop here. You know that mathematician who was thrown into the sea? He died because he said something he shouldn't have. Cut not wood on a public road. Open not an unwanted bottle. I don't know what to say next. I guess the best line for this circumstance is, see you later.
길까? 짧을까? 솔직히 말하면 쉬었다고 쉬었다 할까?
The rate at which you swing the suitcase is the same as that of the waves hitting the coast. I had a very good sleep.
잠깐 쉬었다 할까? 할 것도 좀 있고 머리 아프네. 잠깐 쉬었다 하자. 나머지 조금 쉬었다가 5성 그거 확정 하나 받고 나머지 스토리하고 쿠폰 입력하고 그리고 뭐더라? 372 이벤트 372 개인 스토리하고. 오케이. 일단 장한 방송은 끝.